Welcome to 2022. Happy New Year. And if you're watching this, I'm trusting that you've made it to the other side. And I don't know about you, but I actually kind of like New Year. I'm a cliche in that regard. I like having New Year's resolutions, goals, and kind of feeling like I'm turning over a new leaf. And so this is me trying to turn over a new leaf. And here we go. Like most people, 2021 was a difficult and different year. For most of us, the year started off with some deep losses and intimate experiences with grief. And I've seen on Instagram and social media that many people use the word 2021 was extreme highs and extreme lows. And mine was no different. It was really, really challenging, but also just incredible in its own way. In the middle of dealing with, everything, the pandemic, the continued pandemic, I still had to figure out how to keep going. And I learned a major lesson in 2020, which is to find a way to exist in the midst of those tumultuous times. And that lesson actually helped me to actually chase my dreams and to pursue the things that I deep down knew that's really what I wanted to do. And that actually includes creativity. So 2021 was probably the first time I was able to do some really incredible content production. So at some point in this channel, I was very consistent. We're not going to talk about those times, but I actually still continued to make content for the rest of the year. I had incredible opportunities on different projects to collaborate with people, to work on my own original contents that wasn't for this channel, but for other platforms. And all in all, I was actually able to earn a decent income from being a content creator and find a way to be paid as a content producer here in Malawi, which is possibly a video for another day. But I saw what difference it made in my life to give myself a fair shot and to actually believe that something can happen, to actually hope. And I had an amazing time doing that, so much so that I'm currently in the middle of trying to figure out what a transition into a full-time creative career path would look like. But that's a video for an entirely different day. But all of this while trying to figure out a pandemic, trying to figure out loss of friends, family, like my uncle passed last year. Like many people, it was hard. Like the pandemic was hard to still be in this thing after 2 years. It was really difficult. And the worst part about the pandemic, in my opinion, is also that all this is happening on top of the things that you already have going on. Your problems that you had before the pandemic, some of them never disappeared. And so for me, that was fighting my inner self, fighting my debilitating fear of failure, major depressive disorder, and anxiety, all of those things which actually make a perfect recipe for giving up. And so it was really a big deal for me to just start to learn how to not give up, because the pandemic has also shown us that life is really short and that we really all have one life to live. And so I really tried my best to make the most of the hand that I've been dealt and the times that we're living in. And at the same time, I've also seen how tempting it is to be in this place where it's like, yes, 2022 has come, but we're already in another wave. There's 50 new variants. The pandemic doesn't seem like it's coming to an end soon. I personally hope and pray that this will be the final year and that it's going to slow down. And so it's very tempting to feel pessimistic and hopeless and to feel like, what's the point of living and dreaming when something like a pandemic could just come and take that away, take our loved ones away, and just make life miserable. And personally, my disposition is towards pessimism, apathy, and just general hopelessness. Most of the times I am apathetic towards life. I don't always have the will and the desire to live. And obviously that's with little glimpses of enthusiasm for life here and there. And so it's very easy and normal for me to be pessimistic. And I think the pandemic has made that worse. But yet that also has not brought me any joy in life. It hasn't brought me any satisfaction, any hope and purpose for living. And so I have experienced what it's like to live with a consistent joy, probably the longest time in 2021. And for the first time, I'm like seeing what could happen if I actually dared myself to leave. And it's starting to rain. But I'm learning to look at life and think, I said this in the previous video to say, there is a fear of failure, and there's also an equal chance and an equal opportunity for success. And that life is like a coin. It's double-sided. It's never just always all bad. Most times there's another way of looking at each thing, each failure, each opportunity, each potential opportunity, and saying it could go well, it could go bad. And so as this new year is starting, I'm looking at it the same way, like a blank canvas, and thinking, man, this could actually turn out to be the worst year of all our lives again, for the third time. Or it could actually just turn out to be a turn of a new page, whether personally or in our world or whatever. But that allowing myself to hope is actually a big deal and a big shift for me. I am allowing myself to dare to hope and be hopeful that there's possible new opportunities, new rewarding life experiences that await me, the possibility of bad things happening, yet knowing bad things will happen, they will strike me down, but they will not destroy me. And I think that for me is like what hope is, not thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be perfect and rosy, but thinking even in the middle of hard times, I can still find some rays of sunshine. Like one of my favorite theologians, Richard Roll, puts it this way, that until we walk with personal issues of despair, we will never uncover the real hope on the other side of despair. And I think that's something that's very profound, especially if you're like me, where you intimately know personal despair. You know what it's like to walk and live with that almost every day. And so to have hope is actually something that is refreshing, and to know that at the end of this despair, whether personal or global, cultural, country, there is real hope, and there is something that's going to come out of it. And not to say like good things always come out of bad situations, but that there will be moments of hope and moments of renewal, moments of excitement, light at the end of each tunnel and the many tunnels we're going to face. And that life isn't always going to be disappointing, isn't always going to be like this. And I shouldn't fear, and I shouldn't be afraid to dream and to allow myself to, actually flirt with the possibilities of things going well, because I'm too afraid of what will happen when things don't go well. That I'm too afraid of being too excited and then disappointed again, because that hasn't brought me any joy in life. But what has brought me some joy is hope. It is the sense that, man, there's a possibility of this turning out good. And honestly, that's what I'm trying to do in 2022, to dare to hope, to dare to feel alive, to dare to dream, to dare to pursue opportunities with everything I have, and to not fear failure, to not fear being embarrassed, to not fear not being good enough, or people's perceptions of how people perceive me or anything like that. I want to put all those worries, and I'm like a warrior, guys. I've got a PhD in overthinking, and so daring myself to hope is actually a pretty big deal, and it's a pretty big challenge. It's coming with me having to change ways of thinking that I've really had all my life, and I am challenging myself this year to hope, to be optimistic, to be positive, and not toxic positivity, but real positivity and real enthusiasm for life. And who knows, it might actually go well. My next sentence was actually going to be that it might go bad, but I will still have hope. But in the spirit of learning new ways of thinking, I will dare to hope that something might actually work out. And not just for me, but for us as well. I really do hope that as a people, as a country, as a continent, as the world globally, that this year can bring some form of turning of a new leaf. That's what I'm trying to hold on to, that, tough times don't last. Although they are lasting, they'll not last forever. And that's the attitude I'm trying to go into this new year. And I'll keep on updating you, letting you know how it goes. But do let me know in the comment section down below. How are you doing? How are you feeling about the new year? What are some of the things you're excited about? Some of your hopes and your dreams? And in what ways are you allowing yourself to dare to hope, even in the midst of such uncertain times? How do you want to dare to hope? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, you can find me on my social media on Instagram at justdianaisfine or on Twitter at I am not a goddess. I'd love to talk to you, be in touch with you, and hopefully there's going to be more content coming. I'm not going to make any big promises, but I am hoping to get back to this because I genuinely miss this and I miss talking to you guys. So chat with me. I hope you're having a happy new year so far, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.